Hey guys, I'm Nicole. Thank you so much for being here and showing up to move with me. I apologize, it's been a couple weeks since I've been on, and I've gotten lots of messages and emails and questions asking if I'm going to continue with these videos, and the answer absolutely is yes. I'm trying to upload one a week, but if I miss a week or two, maybe even 3, know that they're still coming, and you can always send me a message over on Instagram. It's Nicole Wild Collective, and let me know what kind of classes you'd like to see or any specific recommendations or things you want me to throw into the flow. We're gonna get into an hour of movement, another fun, playful sequence today. Before we do, I just want to share and maybe remind you, if you've seen some of my other videos, that I am hosting a yoga retreat in Panama this February. I am unbelievably excited. A really, really awesome group of people are coming so far, but there are still a few spots left. So if you're interested in coming to practice with me for a week, there will be yoga and meditation every day, and then I'm going to be doing some workshops in the afternoons. So those are totally optional, but if you're looking for an opportunity to deepen your practice and maybe even engage with some teacher training like material, but not in a teacher training setting, it's a great opportunity. If you're already a teacher, it does count as continuing education credits. So, and then you can surf and play in the water and in the waterfalls and all of those things as well. So I think it's going to be pretty rad. My website is NicoleWildCollective.com, and I'll put all those things in the space below. In the meantime, let's move. And let's get started in a seat. And what I suggest is that you sit up onto something like a block or a blanket or a pillow. I forgot to grab something, but that's okay. You can sit just on the mat as well, but if you find any discomfort in the knees, sitting up and getting the hips up higher will help any knee discomfort. You could also start in a child's pose or lying on your back. So get comfortable. Allow the eyes to close and the breath to kind of, with ease, just begin to lengthen. So lengthening out the inhales and the exhales. And maybe you begin to add in a little bit of a longer pause in between the inhale and the exhale. So we're going to move a lot. I promise you that that is coming. But I think it's incredibly important in this practice, and I've said this lots, that we kind of look to expand the practice in all directions. So as we play with more quote-unquote advanced sequences, challenging, playful sequences, that we're also adding on time here. And I like to think of movement, this physical part of the practice, as kind of like a medicine for the body, and likewise that this moment of pause, these times that we really settle into stillness and into presence, that those are opportunities for medicine for the mind space and the heart space. And it might be the first time that you really even pause to check in today, check in with body, check in with breath, check in with your heart. There is so much going on in the world right now, and it's so easy to be outwardly stimulated, but what's going on right here? What's going on right here underneath the layers of skin in this body-mind unit that is you? Just a few last cycles of breath here, making them deep and intentional. So big inhale through the nose. And if it feels good, you could even open the mouth for an exhale. Notice where you can soften. Can you soften the throat, the jaw, even the space where the eyelids meet? Empty the lungs completely, and then keeping the eyes closed as much as you can. On your next inhale, hands are on the knees. You're gonna open the heart through the shoulders, lift the chin, tailbone pulls back a little bit. And then use your exhale to round through the back body. Chin in towards chest. Back of the heart presses into the space behind you. Eyes softly open at this point. Use your inhale to come back through center, rolling the shoulder blades, the scapula onto the back body as you open heart, lift chin, lift gaze. And then exhale to round through the back body. Back of the heart presses into the space behind you. Come back to neutral. Before we move from our seat, let's interlace all 10 fingers, get a little movement going in the wrists. Those of you who have practiced with me before know how important I believe it is to both open up the wrists and also add in a little bit of strength, switch direction of the circles. We're really used to being on our feet, but in this practice we also spend a lot of time on our hands, so we want to prep ourselves for it. So many delicate bones and joint spaces that make up the wrist joint. All right, let's make our way back through neutral, and let's shift forward, finding a tabletop position. So wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Fingers are spread, but not wide enough that you're causing any sort of tension in the hands, and then just find a little shift forward and back. Maybe even finding some circles. And switching direction of the circles. And then finding your way back through neutral. Kick the right leg long behind you, right foot is flexed. You guys have definitely done this one with me before. We're gonna drop the right knee behind the left knee and send the hips towards the back of the mat. Walk the fingertips out long, maybe even a little bit closer to the top of the mat so that you're really inviting length down the side bodies and into the low back. And then using your next inhale, let's come back up through center, wrist back underneath the shoulders, unravel the right knee to tap the right shoulder, and then step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Come up onto fingertips. We want to find an active press of the hips down and forward. And then pull the heart to the front of the room, so keeping the spine tall here. 1 or 2 more cycles of breath. And then as you're ready for it, dropping palms to the floor if you're on the fingertips, curl into the ball of the left foot. We're going to lift the left knee and then just find a little bit of a shift forward and back. This one feels really good. It is hiking, biking, climbing season here in Montana. It is summer and it's beautiful out, but it means a lot of sore hips and sore hamstrings and quads. All right, root into the ball of the left foot. We're gonna kick the right leg all the way back, 3-legged down dog, right toes sweep high. And then on your exhale, right knee to the left elbow. Straighten through the right leg, setting the outside edge of the foot on the floor. We're gonna keep both hands planted, pull the right hip over to the right side of the mat, and then either hang out here or exhale, bend into both elbows, little bit of heat. And then press back up. Keeping the arms straight, now drop the right hip to the floor. Untuck the left toes, heart pulls forward, shoulders onto back body. We're here just for a breath or so, lengthening out outer right hip. And then we're gonna take this shape all the way to Wild Thing. An alternative is just a 3-legged down dog if you're not feeling ready for Wild Thing. But curling onto the left foot, lift left knee, lift the hips, and then slow down this transition. Let the right toes slide underneath. And then right foot drops all the way behind as you peel the right hand from the mat. Hips and heart press high. If you're in your Wild Thing for a moment, let's drop the hips down to the mat, pointing the right fingertips towards the back of the room. And then regrounding into the right foot, come all the way back through center. Finding your high plank, wrists underneath the shoulders. For a moment here, let's bend into the knees. Make sure your knees are hip-width distance apart so you can separate the feet if you need to. Knees are to a hover above the mat, so we're building some heat here. And then in this shape, couple rounds of cat-cow. So use your inhale to open the heart, lift tailbone, lift gaze. It might just be a really subtle, gentle movement. And then exhale, round through the back body. Just one more. Inhale, open the heart, lift tailbone, lift gaze. Exhale, engage the core, round through the back body. Soften the knees all the way down to the floor. One more cat-cow. Opening heart, lift tailbone, lift gaze. And then from the tailbone, ripple up the spine as you exhale. Cat pose. Come back through neutral. Left leg kicks behind you, left foot is flexed. And then drop the left knee behind the right knee and send the hips towards back of the mat. Walk the fingertips long, so even a little bit longer out in front of you. Heart towards right thigh, maybe nose drops in towards right knee. And then using an inhale, come back up through center. So wrists underneath the shoulders, unravel the left knee to the outside of the left shoulder. And then step the left foot to the outside of left hand. Drop the hips down and forward, come onto the fingertips. Pull the heart to the front of the room, spine is super tall here. In this shape, you can always also bring hands up onto a prop if you feel like you need a little bit of extra height. One more cycle of breath. And then if you're on the fingertips, let's drop the palms to the floor, curl onto the ball of the right foot to lift the right knee, and then again, just a little bit of a shift forward and back. So even getting a little bit of mobility in the wrists here. All right, root into the ball of the right foot and use your inhale to kick the left toes all the way back, three-legged down dog. And with your exhale, left knee comes across the body, landing at the right elbow. Straighten out through the left leg, setting outside edge of the foot on the floor, and you can either hang out right here, or if you're ready for a little mini burst of heat, elbows bent, chaturanga, the arms, and then press back up, high plank. All right, this transition, slow it down. We're coming all the way to wild thing, so left toes slide underneath you and then peel open, really as if I press the slow motion button on the TV. Left fingertips reach forward. Hips and heart press high. Again, the alternative is three-legged down dog if you're not ready for wild thing. If you're in your wild thing, drop the hips all the way down to the floor. Left foot plants. Left fingertips reach to the back of the mat, and then strengthen out the core first before you move and roll your way back through high plank. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Just for kicks and giggles, I think that's the saying. Right toes lift, right foot is flexed. And then hold that, come up onto left fingertips, either hang out there or left hand taps the right shoulder. Come back through high plank, left toes lift. You're welcome to hang out here or come up onto right fingertips. Maybe right hand comes to left shoulder. Come back through high plank. Elbows graze the side body. We're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Bring the hands wider than the mat and tent the fingertips, and then pressing into the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. We're just going to stay in center, coming up and down a couple of times. So exhale, really roll down one vertebrae at a time until the heart, the sternum, meets the mat. And then come right back up. Using an inhale to lift, engage the glutes. And exhale to roll down. One more time, one vertebrae at a time. Come all the way up. Maybe arms straighten out a little bit more. Glutes engage. If there's any kinking in the low back, you've gone too far. And exhale to slow, lower all the way down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Curl onto the toes. Engage into the core, so like the wick of a candle. Find the center line of your body and then press all the way up, high plank. Maybe you shift all the way to the fingertips. If this is too much, drop the palms to the floor. Again, the wrists are very delicate, very gentle. We don't want to push them too far, but we are building some strength. So stay on the fingertips for a moment if you can as you roll the hips back, downward dog. Finding a couple cycles of breath to pedal at the feet, bending into one knee and then into the other knee. You might still be on fingertips. Again, you can drop palms down at any point, and then maybe staying on the fingertips, come up high onto the toes, deep bend into the knees, and exhale to hop or step or walk, feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale to release. Deepen into the knees, send the hips back, heart forward, arms extend long to the front of the room, and then palms face the floor. On your exhale, cactus out the elbows, so you're pulling the scapula together and down the back body. Inhale to straighten out the arms, bring palms all the way to touch. And then on your exhale, palms face the floor as you cactus out the elbows, roll the shoulders onto back body. One more time, inhale, arms straighten out, palms come all the way to touch. We're gonna pause here, shift your weight into the toes, lift the heels, and then send the hips all the way down to the mat. Alrighty, a little bit of mobility, lean the upper body back. Arms can come down to airplane wings here as well. We're gonna see if we can tap the knees to the floor and then pull the knees back into the chest. And maybe you drop the heels all the way to the floor. We're just gonna move back and forth a couple of times. So lift the heels, lean the upper body back, knees tap, and then knees back into the chest. Hips back, maybe the heels tap. Last one, lift the heels, lean the upper body, tap the knees. We're gonna pause here, come all the way to standing on the shins. So knees are underneath the hips. We're gonna interlace the fingers, but opposite, so palms face up towards the ceiling. Thumbs are released. In this shape, think of pulling the hands to the back of the room, so big opening in the shoulders, and then knit the rib cage in and tuck the tailbone just a little bit. That's a really difficult shape for me. So we're kind of taking any curve out of the low back so that we're not back bending in this shape, but we're isolating and opening in the shoulders. Lift up and out. On your exhale, lean over to the right. So long line of energy from the left wrist all the way into the left knee, and make sure the left knee is rooted down. Inhale back through center. Again, super strong in the core. Pull the hands back, knit the rib cage in, and then exhale, lean over to the left. Head and neck stay in line with the spine, so you're not looking around in all directions. Inhale to come back up through center. Release the arms, find your cactus. Fingers are active, engage the glutes. Little back bend here, so we're still early on in the hour. Be gentle, put opening heart towards sky. Drop the hands to interlace at the low back. If that's not available, give yourself what you need, modify as you need. We're gonna play with coming all the way from this shape into a forward fold with the bind. Again, if you're listening to your body, you can't really hurt yourself, so listen to what the body needs. We're gonna release back bend, keep this clasp of the hands, shift the upper body back, lift the knees, plant the feet. You can go at your own pace. It's okay if you're not with me. Upper body leans forward, hands stay to interlace, drop the head. Maybe a big open mouth exhale. And release the hands down towards mat, one vertebrae at a time. Let your inhale roll you up, so it's almost like the breath is moving you. Head and neck last to lift. Arms extend up overhead at the top. Bring palms all the way to touch. And then on your exhale, pull palms down through heart center, hands to touch. I've somehow made it halfway down my mat, which was not my intention, but that's what happened. Let's take a step forward if you are also not at the top of your mat. All right, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit. Couple sun salutations. As always, make them yours. So you can add on a crow pose, you can add on an inversion, you can take it to a child's pose, you can make something up. But move with your breath. Inhale, arms extend, lift up and out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, long spine, crown of the head reaches, and then again with breath, hands plant, step back or hop back or play or levitate. Kind of kidding. If you can do that, let me know. Elbows bend, finding whatever your version of a vinyasa is. Maybe the first one is a baby cobra or straight to up dog. We'll land in a down dog. Then we're gonna come right back to the top of the mat. So exhale, carries the feet forward. Rebound, halfway lift. Exhale to release. Inhale, all the way to standing, palms to touch. You can always add a little back bend here if it feels supported. And then exhale brings you right back down. Inhale, half lift, long spine. And then exhale to release. Plant the hands, step or hop or play. Moving your way to a down dog. And again, I do not expect that everyone is with my cues exactly here. Move with your breath. Move at a pace that works for you. One more. Exhale, carries the feet forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise. Come through standing, palms touch, back bend is there if it feels supported. And then using an exhale, come right back down. Inhale to halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to release. Plant the hands, step or hop or play. Vinyasa, crow pose, invert, whatever it is that carries you into a down dog. Couple cycles of breath in your down dog. Maybe you pedal out the feet. You could bend into one knee, into the other knee, move the hips, side to side. And then before we move on, one of my favorite shapes lately, pretty simple, but keeping your down dog stance, drop the head so much that you're actually pulling the chin in towards the chest, like you're looking for your belly button. See if you can even find your belly button with your gaze. Straighten out through the arms, so you're pressing the floor away. Really pull the chin in. We're bringing length into the back of the neck and into the base of the skull, the muscles that are on the occiput. One more cycle of breath right here. All right, keep the gaze dropped. On your inhale, we're gonna lift the right toes high. So keep looking for your belly button with the gaze. Take a bend into the left knee. And then if you've got a handstand practice and you're feeling ready for it, you could play with catching the balance in a handstand for a moment, or you could simply hop the left toes to the left hand at the top of the mat. Right toes stay lifted. Mine was not pretty, so you don't need to try to copy anything that I just did, but we're landing in a standing split at the top of the mat with the gaze. Drop chin in towards chest, right toes, really sweep high. Blocks are always available for hands, or you can grab a stack of books if you need them. And then engage into the right glutes and right hamstrings to sweep the right toes even a little bit higher. On your exhale, tap the right toes to the right wrist or wherever they land. You can have a bend in the left knee if you need to. And then cross the right ankle over the left ankle. Hands can either stay in the center here, or you can walk the hands towards top right corner of the mat. Little bend in the left knee just to make sure the joint space is protected, but keep inviting left hip back. One more cycle of breath right here. And then using an inhale, hands walk back through center. Shift your weight into the right foot, so we're swapping feet. Bend the left knee, pulling left heel in towards left glute. We're finding a Shiva squat, so both knees bend here. Bring palms to touch at the heart. Engage into the core, so you're pulling the belly off the top of the thighs, and then on your exhale, straighten out left leg, straighten out right leg, and extend the arms forward. Virabhadrasana 3. Big cycle of breath here. Maybe roll out the left ankle for a moment. Always feels good. Switch direction of the circles. Take a slow bend into the right knee. We're going to land in a warrior 2, spinning left foot flat and twisting upper body to the left. On your next inhale, reverse your warrior, left hand, left thigh, right arm comes up and over. And then on your exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame out the right foot, step back, either a vinyasa or straight to your down dog. Short sequence to start, we're gonna add on to it. But before we do, we get to find the second side. So inhale, left toe sweep high, drop the gaze, chin in towards chest. Really press the floor away, take a bend into the right knee as you come high onto the right toes. If you wanna play with catching the balance in a handstand, maybe with the gaze dropped, go for it. Or you can just hop the right toes to meet the right wrist at the top of the mat. Keep chin in. Keep pulling the left toes high by really engaging, activating into the left glutes, left hammies. I don't know if I've ever called them hammies before. Hamstrings. Hammies is a thing. And then on your exhale, as much of a bend in the right knee as you need to tap the left toes to the left wrist or wherever they land, really compressing into left hip joint, into lower core, and then cross the left ankle over the right ankle. It's okay if it takes a couple steps to get there. At least a little micro bend in the right knee, or as much of a bend as you need to make this shape available. And then hands can stay in the center, or you could walk the hands off to the top left corner of the mat. This one feels good. This is one that I always want to hang out in a breath longer. Using an inhale, when you're feeling ready, feeling even on this side, walk hands back through center, shift your weight into left foot, pull the right heel in towards right glutes, and then bend left knee, Shiva squat, right knee taps the left calf, right heel squeezes in, palms to touch at heart center. Maybe you sink even a little deeper in the left knee. And then as you're ready, warrior three, kick the right leg back, straighten out through the left leg, and arms extend, knit the rib cage up and in, and then again, roll out the right ankle. Lift the right heel a little higher, switch direction of the circles. And then soften left knee, or bend into the left knee so you can soften right toes, open up, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. So in this shape, right foot is flat, parallel to back edge of the mat, upper body twist to the right. Use your inhale to reverse your warrior, right hand, right side, left arm comes up and over. And then on your exhale, cartwheel the hands. Frame out left foot, step back, high plank, and either add on your vinyasa or move straight back into your downward dog. I'm taking a big breath here. Maybe an open mouth exhale. We are going to add on to that flow, but before we do, I'd like to build a little bit of heat. So using your next exhale, ripple spine forward, high plank. Hover the right toes. And then kick the right foot back, three-legged down dog. On your exhale, right knee comes across body to left elbow. Spin the left foot flat, straighten through the right leg. Maybe this time right foot hovers. Left fingertips sweep high. If right foot needs to come to the floor, that's also fine. Bend into the left knee, so hips towards the back of the mat. Left fingertips extend forward. And then instead of coming back through high plank, we're going to come through center, but we're going to pivot to the left, dropping left forearm to the floor. Right knee points up to ceiling, right fingertips sweep high. Options, you could extend right leg. Ooh, falling. You could drop right toes behind the back, moving more towards a wild thing, but on the forearms. And then using your inhale, forearm plank. Come through center, elbows underneath the shoulders. Active press the floor away. Walk the toes towards elbows for a dolphin pose. You guys have done this one with me a lot. We're going to engage finger pads and knuckle pads. And then we're going to play with rolling through to Chaturanga Dandasana. So peeling elbows from the mat. And then let the heart come all the way through up dog. And using your exhale, send the hips up and back. Downward facing. Same little mini sequence on the second side. On your exhale, ripple forward, landing in your high plank, wrists underneath the shoulders. Lift the left foot, left toes are flexed. And then as if the breath was moving you, inhale, pull the left toes all the way back. Three-legged downward dog. On your exhale, left knee comes across body, right elbow, right foot spins flat. Straighten out left leg as right fingertips sweep up high. Maybe left hand is to a hover. And then start to bend into the right knee, hips towards the back of the mat, right fingertips reach forward. And again, we're going to come back through center, but we're going to pivot all the way to the right and land on the right forearm. Left knee stays bent, left fingertips sweep high. Can either stay here, you can straighten left leg. You could drop the left toes behind the back, opening up into, again, this forearm wild thing shape. And then let your inhale carry you through your forearm plank, elbows underneath the shoulders. This time finding a little shift forward and back. So we're firing up the core. We're also getting some mobility into the feet, the ankles. Walk the toes in, dolphin. Before you move, really pull the heart back towards the tops of the thighs. We're opening up the shoulders as much as we're strengthening them here. Press into finger pads, knuckle pads. Peel the elbows as you pull all the way through upward dog. And then on your exhale, send the hips up and back. Downward facing. Drop the head, shake the head, yes, no. Maybe you even open and close the mouth to roll out the jaw. Whew, guys, my body is tired today, which is great. That's why we yoga. All right, on your inhale, right toes sweep high. Really drop the gaze, chin in towards chest, and then keep the gaze drop. If you want to play with catching the balance in a handstand with the drop gaze, go for it. Eventually, we're going to land with left foot to the top of the mat, standing split. Chin in towards chest, lift right toes even a little bit higher. This time, we're going to take a bend into both knees. See if you can tap the right knee to the right elbow or right armpit, and then kick the right toes high. On your exhale now, right toes to right wrist. Pause for a moment. Right ankle crosses over the left. We're going to shift our weight straight into the right foot this time. Bend into the left knee and the right knee. Shiva squat. Fingertips to the floor for balance or palms to touch at the heart. And then on your exhale, warrior three, kick the left leg back, arms extend. Now we're going to switch it up a bit this time. We're going to come back to our Shiva squat. We're going to be doing lots of these. Left hand drops down, right fingertips open up, so we're twisting out the upper body, and then kick the left leg back, reverse half moon. For more of a challenge, you could hover left fingertips or bring left hand to right ankle. Releasing the twist, come back, Shiva squat. Left knee, right calf. And as you're ready, one more warrior three, kick left leg long, arms extend. All right, last Shiva on this side, bend into left knee to tap the right calf, palms to touch. This time we open up half moon. So right hand drops down as you peel the right hip open, left hip open, left hand open. Can either hang out here or bend into the left knee, holding onto the outside of the left foot. Chapasana, sugarcane pose. And then releasing the left foot, if you've got it, all the way down, warrior two, left foot parallel, upper body lifts, arms extend. Fingertips reach long as if someone was playing tug-of-war on the hands. And then on your exhale, we're going to shift to the ball of the left foot as we pivot the upper body all the way to the right. So wrapping the lungs around the heart. Bend a little deeper into right knee. Option to find the reverse, right hand, left thigh, left arm up and over. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands. We're going to frame out the right foot, drop the left knee to the floor, and then keep the hands planted so it's kind of a compression of the hip. Kick the right toes back. As you do, elbows graze rib cage, lower chin and chest to the mat. On your exhale, we're going to press back up. Lift the left knee from the mat as you pull the right knee to nose. So the gaze should be dropped, chin in. Step the right foot next to the left foot. You're kind of in a funky high plank. And then roll the hips back, downward dog, with the gaze dropped. All right, we're on the other side. Left toes kick high. Left toes are pointed out here. And then either catching the balance for a moment or just taking one big hop, we land in our standing split at the top of the mat. Chin in, nose towards knee-ish. On your exhale, bend into both knees. See if you can tap the left knee all the way into the left shoulder. And then kick the left toes back high, standing split. On your exhale, left toes tap the left wrist or wherever they land. If it's totally impossible, you can do knee to the shoulder. But then we're going to cross left ankle over the right ankle. Again, shifting weight straight into the left foot. Pull the right heel in towards glute and then slide the right knee down the left calf as you take a bend into a Shiva squat. Either fingertips to the floor for balance or palms to touch with the heart. Core is super strong. With your inhale, warrior three, kick the right leg back, arms extend. And then on your exhale, Shiva squat, right knee, left calf, palms to touch. Drop the right hand towards floor, left fingertips open up, so you're twisting out the upper body. Now kick the right leg back, reverse half moon. Use the strength of the core to twist even a little deeper. Maybe right fingertips hover for a moment. And then we come through center, Shiva squat. Right knee, left calf, palms come to touch. Warrior three, last one here. Right leg kicks back, arms extend. And then exhale, Shiva, right knee, left calf, palms to touch at heart. All right, half moon, left hand drops down, right toes, right fingertips open up. So think of stacking on top of the left, right shoulder, right hip on top of left. And then maybe you bend into right knee. Hold on to right foot. Finding your Savasana sugarcane pose. All right, releasing right toes if you've got them. We're landing all the way in a warrior two, so right foot parallel to the back edge of the mat as upper body lifts. Always the invitation to slow down the transitions. Twist the upper body to the right, fingertips extend. And then on your exhale, we pivot onto the right foot. Slow rotating the upper body all the way to the left until the right fingertips reach forward and the left fingertips reach back. Shift your entire upper body back a little bit. And then maybe you find the reverse. Left hand to the right thigh, right arm up and over. On your exhale, cartwheel hands, frame out left foot, step back. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, I always do that. Drop the right knee to the floor. And then we kick the left leg back as you also bend into the elbows, drop chin and chest, left heel lifts high. And then press back up through center. As you do, lift right knee from the mat, left knee pulls to nose. Okay, so gaze should be dropped, chin in towards chest. Now step the left toes back to the right, so we're in kind of this lifted plank shape. And then roll the hips back, downward dog with the gaze dropped. Okay, we're gonna pick up the pace a little bit and we're gonna take a similar flow, but I'm gonna add on some funky options here. Inhale, sweep right toes high. However you get there, left foot to the top of the mat. Right toes stay lifted. On your exhale, right toes tap right wrist. We're gonna pause and then sweep the right foot high. Either hang out right here or take a couple hops towards handstand or bend into the left knee until it finds itself in the back of the left arm and maybe left heel lifts into your flying crow from standing split. All our options. I'm gonna give you a moment to play. And then we're gonna land back in our standing split if you're not there. And one more time on your exhale, right toes, tap right wrist, and then cross right ankle over the left. Straight into our Shiva squat, so bend into both knees, left knee, right calf, palms to touch at heart. Straighten out, warrior three. With the breath, exhale, Shiva. This time straight to your reverse half moon. Twist out the upper body, left leg kicks back. Option to bend into left knee and reach the right hand for the left toe. So kind of like the Chapasana we find in our half moon, but reversing it. Maybe you keep the grip on the left foot this time as left arm extends forward. Find your Shiva squat, left knee to the right calf. I'm super wobbly today, guys. Warrior three, right leg extend, or left leg extends long, right fingertips extend forward. Okay, last one. Left knee bends, palms to touch, Shiva squat. Half moon, right hand down, left leg kicks, left fingertips reach. This time left arm points all the way, left fingertips point all the way to the front of the room. So bring some length into the left side body. And then slow bend into the right knee, come all the way up, windmilling open, warrior two. Take an inhale here, so find the breath, and then use your exhale to pivot onto the ball of the left foot, twisting, so you're rinsing out the inner body, come all the way to the right. And then find your reverse. Right hand, left thigh, left arm up and over. On your exhale, cactus out the arms, frame out the right foot. This time just step back, high plank, choosing a vinyasa, or moving straight back into your down dog. Okay, last time, last side for this sequence. Drop the gaze, left toes sweep high. With the gaze dropped, either a handstand or just hopping right foot all the way to the top of the mat. Left toes stay lifted. Take an inhale. Exhale, left toes tap left wrist. And then kick all the way back up, standing split. Alrighty, bend into the right knee. Right knee comes to the back of the right elbow. This might be a place you build strength. Or you can kind of find that shelf for the right knee and pull right heel in, finding your flying crow. Even left glutes are engaged here to keep the left toes pointed high. We meet back in our standing split. So right foot to the floor, left foot high, however you get there. And then on your exhale, last one, left toes to the left wrist, and then stack Left ankle over the right ankle. Shift your weight into the left foot. Right heel pulls in, sink deep into your Shiva squat, palms come to touch at the heart. Virabhadrasana 3, kick right leg back, fingertips extend forward. And then exhale to pull everything in. Shiva, right knee, left calf. Open up, reverse half moon, so upper body twist to the left. Right leg kicks. And then maybe you bend into the right knee. Hold left hand onto the right toes. If you got the clasp, find a little bit of a kick. Know that it's all optional. And if you've got the foot, maybe you keep it as you find this Shiva squat shape. Right knee, left calf, right fingertips extend forward. Release the foot if you've got it. Warrior 3. Spine is super long. Knit the rib cage up and in. Last Shiva squat of practice. Right knee, left calf, palms come to touch at heart. And then use your inhale to open up. Half moon. Right hip and right shoulder stack on top of left. Again, right fingertips reach all the way to the front of the room. So you're creating length down the right side body. And then bend into the left knee. Come all the way up. Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. All right, take an inhale here. On your exhale, pivot to the ball of the right foot as you rotate the upper body all the way around to the left. Optional reverse. Left hand, right thigh. Right arm up and over. And then exhale to cartwheel the hands. Step back, high plank. Either your vinyasa or move the hips straight back. Landing in your downward dog. Cycle of breath or so right here, knowing that child's pose is always an option. All right, one last little sequence before we start to slow things down. On your inhale, sweep the right toes high. On your exhale, right knee, left elbow. We've been here before. Left foot spins flat, left fingertips reach high. Bend into the left knee, pulling hips back, reach the left fingertips forward. And then this time, we're gonna pivot into a figure 4 down dog. So left hand plant, stack the right ankle on the left knee, and keep a deep bend in the left knee. Walk the hands to the back of the mat. You can take your time getting there. Big stretch in the right hip. And I'm going to give a couple of options here. If you're enjoying the stretch, hang out. If you're wanting to play with something a little bit more challenging, a little bit funky, right hand stays down. Start with a twist, so left fingertips open, and again, this might be where you hang out. Or you might work towards the bind behind the back and maybe even interlacing hands around the right knee or something like it, or you can grab a strap or a t-shirt to hold on to help get the bind. And if you've got the bind or some sort of bind, you can come all the way up to standing. So weight stays in the left foot, and you keep the bind around the right knee. Maybe you roll out right ankle, let it feel good. And then again, important that the transition out of the pose is just as mindful as the transition in. So bend into the left knee, deliver the right ankle, release the bind. Palms come to touch at the heart. Let's come all the way up to standing. So hips stack underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to straighten out right leg forward in front of you, right toes pull back, and then start to take just a deep bend into the left knee. And we're going to play here with taking a little step forward, so right foot plants. Left toes point out to a 45 degree just a little bit, and upper body comes forward until spine is parallel with the floor. So we found a pyramid shape with our legs. Core is super strong. Take an inhale, quads are engaged. On your exhale, fold over the right thigh. Nose towards right knee, chin towards chest. Soften the jaw. And using an inhale, let's halfway lift, lengthen. Left hand stays down, right fingertips open up. So taking all sorts of twists today. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. And then walk the left fingertips out to the left just a little bit. Start to take a bend into the right knee. We're going to pull the left knee into the left armpit and bring the foot all the way through. Right hand plants, so finding your pistol squat. Drop the hips all the way to the floor. And on your exhale, lower heels and heart to a hover above the mat. Toes pull back towards the body. On your inhale, come up to your boat pose. Spine is tall, heels squeeze together. If you want more, you could straighten out the legs, pull the toes back. And then as we bend into the knees with or without the hands, so we're testing our mobility here, we're gonna plant the feet, lift the hips, come up onto the toes, spine is tall. And then palms can face forward as you lean the upper body back, tap the knees to the floor. We've been here before. Knees into the chest, bring the heels to the mat. 2 more, lift the heels, upper body leans back, tap the knees, pull back into the chest. Last one, lean the upper body back. Knees drop all the way to the floor, come all the way to standing on the shins. Bring hands to the low back, so fingertips to interlace. Open the heart, so thread the heart through the shoulders as you find your back bend. It might not be a very deep movement here. And then again, we're going to keep this clasp of the hands as you release the back bend, send hips to the heels. Maybe you lift the knees, plant the feet, forward fold, Uttanasana with this clasp of the hands. Take a bend into the right knee, letting right shoulder drop towards right knee. And then straighten out through the right leg, bend into the left knee, left shoulder drops. And re-straighten out through the left leg, release the hands down. We've made our way back to the middle of the mat, the same thing that happened earlier. So we're gonna meet in a down dog. If you want to play with a couple hops towards handstand or a crow pose or a vinyasa, I purposefully, in my classes, offer moments where I'm not telling you exactly what to do because I want you to make it your practice, not based off of anything that you're watching someone else do. Alrighty, that was a funky one. We're gonna do that on the other side and then we're gonna start to really slow down. Using your inhale, left toe sweep high. On your exhale, left knee across body, right elbow, find your fallen star, right foot spins flat. As left leg straightens, right fingertips open up. Either hang out here or bend into the right knee, pulling hips back, right fingertips forward. And then again, the transition is into a figure 4 down dog. So as you plant the right hand, stack the left ankle on top of the right knee. Deep bend into both knees. Pull the hips back. So the deeper of a bend you have in the right knee, the more you'll create that shelf for the left ankle. Walk the hands back. So you've found yourself in this figure 4 chair. And then again, I'm gonna give options. You can hang out here. If this is too much of a stretch for you, just bring palms to touch at the heart and you can work on balance. If you wanna take the twist, left hand comes down, right fingertips open up. And if you wanna add on the bind, right hand behind the back, left hand behind left knee, maybe fingertips touch, or maybe you use a strap or a t-shirt, or even just kind of hold on to your pants. And then option to come all the way to standing. Equal weight underneath right foot. Maybe roll out left ankle. One point of focus for your gaze will help your balance here. And then again, the transition out is just as mindful, so slow it down. Bend into the right knee. Left ankle stacks. Release bind if you've got it. Release twist if you've got it. And then come back to standing on the right foot. Palms come to touch at the heart. On your inhale, let's come to standing. Straighten left leg out long in front of you. Left toes pull back. Maybe the foot lifts a little higher, and then take a bend into the right knee. And we're gonna take a little step forward. So left foot plants out long in front of you. Right toes pivot to a 45 degree, and then upper body reaches forward. So until the spine is parallel with the floor, and again, knit the rib cage up and in. So we want the core to be strong here. We want the left quads engaged so that the knee joint is protected. And then exhale to fold over the left leg. Nose towards left knee, chin in towards chest. Let it feel good. Hands, again, can always come up to blocks or books or something here if you need a little extra height. You can always also widen out your stance. On your inhale, let's halfway lift, lengthen. Right hand stays down, left fingertips peel open, so we're twisting out upper body. Invite the left hip back. Start to walk the right hand off to the right a bit, and then pull the right knee in towards right armpit. Foot comes all the way through as left hand drops also to the top of the mat. So finding your pistol squat. Alrighty, hips drop down, heels and heart come down, so we're finding our hollow hold. Squeeze inner thighs together, squeeze heels together. With your inhale, come up to your boat pose. Last time here, last burst of heat in the core. Maybe straighten out the legs. Pull the heart forward so we're not dumping into the low spine. All right, on your exhale, we're gonna bend into the knees, plant the feet, with or without the hands. Lift the hips, feet hip width distance. That was my mistake last time. And then lean the upper body back, tap the knees to the floor, palms face up. Send the heels down. Maybe the heels come all the way to the floor, maybe they don't. And then 2 more times. Lift the heels, upper body leans, tap the knees. And then knees into the chest. Drop the heels, hips back. Last one, lift the heels. Last one really for all of practice now. Drop the knees all the way to the floor and then come to standing on the shins. I'm gonna stick with this interlace of the hands at the low back. If you wanna find a different variation of your camel pose, you could. So as you start to straighten out the arms and peel the shoulders onto the back body, I really like this version of the shape because it really encourages and emphasizes that you open up the shoulders, and we just wanna be careful that we're not just dumping into the low spine. In any back bend, that's always the case. If there's pain in the low back, if this is too much, then bring hands to the glutes for support. All right, keep the hands interlaced if you've got them. We're gonna release the back bend. Toes stay tucked. Send the hips to the heels. Last one, knees lift, heels drop, upper body folds forward. Drop the head, chin in. Heels of the hands squeeze together. And then releasing, hands back down towards floor. And once again, we have this transition back into our downward dog, and it's really our last kind of opportunity to get playful here. So if you wanted a crow pose, maybe you plant the hands, knees to the backs of the arms. If you're new to crow, this is a great place to hang out and build strength with toes on the floor. Then maybe start lifting one foot, hovering, lifting the other. If you're in your crow pose or an inversion, don't just rush through it. Stay a couple breaths longer than you normally might. And then next place we meet is in our downward dog. So feet to the back of the mat. Maybe you add a vinyasa along the way. And then soften the knees to the floor and we'll drop into a child's pose. So moment of transition here. Untuck the toes, send the hips back, send the heart back. And if possible, see if you can let the forehead rest on the floor and soften into that point of contact. And then with forehead on the floor, maybe you bend a little into the elbows so that they can drop and so you can fully relax into the shape. From your child's pose, let's walk the hands to the body. We're just gonna cross over the ankles and come all the way into a seat. I'm gonna give a couple of options for hip opener here. Let's start with the left leg extended long. And then option number 1 is right ankle stacks above the left knee. So it's that figure 4 shape. We want to make sure the ankle is above the knee so that it's not on the knee joint. And this might already feel like a lot. You can even press the right knee down towards the floor for a little bit of an assist, but just be mindful that the knee joint feels protected. Option number 2 is half lotus. Right heel squeezes up, pulls up towards the crease of the left thigh. And you can either stay tall or you can fold forward. And if you want more and if you know it's in your practice or you feel open to it, you could work towards full lotus, left heel on top of right thigh. It's a really intense shape and it's not even available in everyone's body. So meet yourself where you're at. You can either stay tall, you can fold forward. And breathe into the space where there is sensation. And that might be the physical body, but it might be an emotional body response. I think the biggest thing I've learned in my yoga practice thus far is how really not so separate the body and the mind and the heart, the emotional body really are. They're not so separate. So honor whatever comes up. Breathe into the spaces where sensation does arise. And then using an inhale, come back up through center, and we swap it out. So if left leg is not long, let's extend it long. And then right leg extends long. Maybe you kind of pedal at the knees here. And then we swap it out. So left ankle stacks to start on top of, just above the right kneecap. And this might be where you hang out. Again, you could invite a little bit of an assist here, so hands could press the left thigh, left knee down towards floor. Oh, it sounds like there's a motorcycle outside. I hope that's not super loud on this sound. Okay, option number 2, half lotus. Left heel pulls up in towards the left hip crease. In any hip stretch, if there's pain in the knee, you've gone too far. So if there's pain in the knee joint, back out of the shape until it feels okay. And then option number 3 is right ankle up to the left thigh. Lefts and rights get confusing when you're twisted up like a pretzel. Okay. You can either stay tall, you can fold forward, you can fold forearms onto a prop. And we get to hang out here. This is a point in practice, if we were all in person together, that I would ask if anyone has any funny jokes. I don't have any funny jokes to share at the moment. I should bring some funny jokes. That would be great, right? You could put them in the comment box at the end of practice if you have any funny jokes. Alrighty. If you're feeling even, you need to come back up through center and start by straightening right leg if it is not already, and then by releasing left leg, and then bending into the knees, kind of pedaling out the knees a little bit. Let's bend into both knees, feet plant, windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And then back through neutral, feet plant. Arms extend forward and use an exhale to roll down the spine. So landing all the way onto our backs, and let's actually bring the bottoms of the feet together and let the knees point out towards edges of the mat. So we're gonna slow it down pretty quickly here. Hands to the thighs, or one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. If this shape is really intense, you can always bring support underneath the knees. So you could bring blocks underneath the knees, or again, books, blanket, pillow, etc. And let the eyes soften and close if you haven't already, and then maybe you kind of adjust into the body. So rolling shoulders onto the back body so that you can allow the collarbones, the chest to broaden. Head and neck stay in line with the spine. And then keeping the left knee exactly where it's at. Drop the arms out into a T. And just windshield wiper right knee over to stack on top of the left knee. So we're taking a super gentle supine twist here. If you want to add on, you could find eagle legs, or you could straighten the right leg off to the left side of the mat. But check that the right shoulder is engaged with the floor. And then on your inhale, come back through center. As you do, we're going to keep the left knee bent, plant the left foot to the floor, and sweep the right foot high. And then hands interlace somewhere around the back of the right, either thigh or shin or ankle if you want to go really deep into the stretch. And you're just inviting the right right thigh towards the right rib cage. Flex out the right toes a lot so that you're bringing some length into the back of the right calf and Achilles tendon. And then just for a moment, really almost as a transition, figure four, right ankle stacks on top of the left knee. Keep the left foot planted, and then maybe you just use the hands to press the right thigh, right knee towards top right corner of the mat. And then we swap it out. Right foot plants next to the left foot. Arms come out to a T, and then just drop both knees over to the right. So again, we're just starting with this really gentle supine twist, and this might feel good as is. If you want more, you could stack left knee on top of right as kind of an eagle legs twist, or you could straighten left leg off to the right side of the mat. Could even, with the right hand, grab the left toes. And check that the left shoulder is rooted to the floor. And then using your inhale, come back through center, but keep the left leg extended up towards ceiling, right foot planted to the mat, right knee points up. And then hands interlace somewhere along the back of the left leg. So thigh, shin, foot, wherever it lands. Active flex in the left toes. Maybe a soft closing of the eyes, letting body know that we're really slowing down now. Working our way into our final resting shape in a moment. And bending into left knee, let the left ankle stack on top of the right thigh, and then again, using hands, press the left knee towards the top left corner of the mat. But only as much as feels okay in the left knee joint. All right, let's release both knees back into the chest. Little rock side to side. Take an inhale. Notice if the body needs any other movements before we settle into stillness. And then as you're ready for it, we're setting up for Savasana. So legs extend long. Or if there's another shape you'd like to land in for your final resting pose, that's always available to you. But traditionally, legs extend long. Shoulders roll underneath you, arms out by the sides, palms face up. And before we settle into total stillness, I want you to windshield wiper the feet in and out a couple of times, and maybe feel all the way up into the hips how this windshield wipering of the feet is kind of rotating the femurs in the hip sockets. And then just let the feet find neutral, which is probably kind of splayed out a little bit. And then eyes are closed, but as if you were shaking your head no, we're just going to roll the right ear down towards the floor, and then back through center, and roll the left ear towards the floor. Move back and forth a couple of times, and even slow it down. And eventually finding neutral with the neck and the head. And let the weight of the body soften and release downward. So you're really not holding yourself up here at all. And this might even be an invitation in your practice to let yourself really feel supported. And let yourself feel supported. It's not always the easiest thing that we do as humans, especially in a culture that asks us to kind of constantly be doing more and being productive and supporting ourselves and working hard. So this is the opportunity to let yourself be supported. And these last couple minutes are right here. And you might begin to invite in a little bit of a deeper breath, or you could, and I encourage you to, if you have the time, you could hang out just reclined here a bit longer in Savasana. When you're ready to move, pause and first just invite in a deep breath, a big inhale and a pause at the top, and then an open mouth exhale. Really releasing any buildup of energy and letting the energy from your movement really move through. And then wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes and add in movements in the wrists and the ankles, and maybe working up the limbs into the elbow joints, the knees, the shoulders, the hips. Doesn't have to look like anything. We're just gonna, with a listening of the body, we're gonna move back up towards seat. So that could mean knees into the chest. It could mean rolling onto the side. And I ask that you keep the eyes closed at this point, even though it's really tempting just to jolt ourselves back up into a seat and go back out into the day. But let this be a transition, especially if you're resisting it. Eventually, we land back up in a seat. Eyes are closed, so that you can stay with you a moment longer. This flip of the gaze inward, this introspection that is such a big part of this practice, which we call yoga. And setting the tone for how you'll carry yourself off of your mat and into your day or your evening or your weekend or wherever it is that you are moving to next. And hands can either meet in front of the heart, or they can stay resting where they're resting. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for moving with me. It is truly an honor, and it is so much fun to practice with those of you who are scattered in your homes throughout the world. Thank you. Namaste. And thank you so much. I was gonna say something and I remember. Okay, so if you have a minute, this is one last thing. I've been getting messages and comments and requests for like a day in the life video, or like just questions about where I've done my trainings. Do I offer teacher trainings? Those types of things. And I'm coming up on 10,000 subscribers, which by the way is totally nuts. I was not expecting that at all when I started this account, so thank you. And also subscribe. But in kind of celebration of 10K when that day comes, which is probably soon. I'm gonna make a little video answering your questions that I've had filter in. So I've been saving them. If you've got them, message me on Instagram, again, Nicole Up Collective, and send me your questions, and it can be about literally anything. And then I'll answer them in a little video on here. Okay, that was all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will practice with you soon.